Jam, nothing for Granite, and nothing for Mass Attack. So the scoreboard will remain as is. 25 for Mass Attack, 12 for Granite State. As we mentioned, of course, this is a WFTDA recognized tournament. The WFTDA recognized tournaments program recognizes and supports high-quality WFTDA member-hosted tournaments worldwide. Back to this one now. Jamie Lee Hurtis again jamming. And now we have a lead jammer for Granite State. This is Debbie Downher. Oh, and a penalty called from the outside on Jamie Lee Hurtis. So this is now a power jam favoring Granite State. As Jamie Lee Hurtis just sat down now in the penalty box. Just 3 blockers on the track for Mass Attack, but they're doing a pretty good job holding off Debbie Downer. That's 4 now for Debbie Downer. A very timely jammer penalty if you are a Granite State fan now. Debbie Downer trying to pick up some speed as Mass Attack speeding to the front of the pack now. There we go. That should be another 4. It is. The penalty is over. Jamie Lee Hurtis completing the initial trip, or one would think, as, boy, Angie O'Nasty was not going to make that first trip easy for Mass Attack, and Granite State with a quick 8. Just down by 5 now. 25 Mass Attack, 20 for Granite State. All right, next up, Kim Possible will be jamming for Granite State. And for Mass Attack, this is Lynn's Anya. Lynn's Anya, hopefully a play of words on one of my favorite foods, lasagna. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Anyway, she is lead jammer. Kim Possible held back by Jinja Ninja. And now turnabout's fair play as Linzania gets racked by Fearless. Whistle is called, and Mass Attack will lose Death by Sugar on a forearm. There we go. Kim Possible is through now for Granite State. Scoring trip for Linzania, and she gets a little bit of urgency calling off the jam. Waiting to see, she got 3 points, I believe. No, all four. All 4. Jam ref gets to the angle where I can see the fingers, and 4 going up. So Mass Attack 29, Granite State 20. Speaking of 20 minutes and 35 seconds to go in this first period. Okay, critical hit now, jamming for Granite State. Android for Mass Attack. Granite State trying to hold back Android, can't do it, but critical hit escaping the pack first is lead jammer now. Critical hit with a speedy stride going through, and this might be a 4-point hit and quit as critical hit is exhorting with her teammates. Yes, 4 going up for Granite State. Seeing again, we have many WFTDA recognized tournaments. Actually, 3 of them going on this weekend. Coastal Chaos here in Rockport, Maine. Southern Discomfort in Columbia, South Carolina. And the K-Town Shakedown in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'll let you know about a few more coming up in just a little while. Back to the action now. Debbie Downer is jamming for Granite State. And once again, it's Jamie Lee Hurtis for Mass Attack. And Jamie Lee Hurtis looks like she got a little bit of a slowdown, but she is lead jammer as Debbie Downer now is furiously trying to catch up. That'll force a call off and another scoreless jam. Granite State doing a good job recovering so far. When Mass Attack establishes lead, they are getting their jammers out. 5-point game with 18 minutes and 45 seconds to go. In the red, Rabid Raccoon ready to jam for mass attack. Kim Possible for Granite State. And oh, so nicely coordinated as Rabid Raccoon finds room outside. That was a play, if you will. It's kind of difficult to execute plays in roller derby. Wow, Rabid Raccoon taking advantage. So that's a 4-point hop around the inside of turn 2, and Kim Possible just now breaking through on the initial trip. Already 4 on the board for Rabid Raccoon, and she gets some assistance. Now she's going to call off the jam before Kim Possible can hit the pack. So an 8-0 jam in favor of mass attack. Pixie Sticks and Amanda Conda really teaming up in the pack to make that scoring pass and that scoring jam 8-0 possible for mass attack. That was certainly some astute jamming, but pack play made that possible. Back to Android versus Critical Hit now. Critical Hit sees daylight on the inside, but Android is lead. Critical Hit is right there with her, and Android will take the better part of Valor, calling off the jam. Another 0-0 jam. There have actually been several of those so far in this first period of play. Okay, Debbie Downer now ready to jam for Granite State. And it's Jamie Lee Hurtis for mass attack. Looking over in the penalty box, I don't see anybody sitting down, so this should be a 4-on-4 pack. That might actually favor Granite State, but Jamie Lee Hurtis finds room on the inside. The mass attack coordinated offense is really showing. It's really the difference in the game so far, I would say. Jamie Lee Hurtis halfway through the pack has to call off the jam as Debbie Downer was rapidly approaching. 2 more going up, however, for mass attack. Yeah, talking about these WFTDA recognized tournaments. After this weekend, next weekend, there's a blowout in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada, hosted by Tri-City Roller Derby. It is Put Up Your Tokes. And in Eugene, Oregon, the Big O will be letting it fly, hosted by the Emerald City Roller Girls. Okay, Kim Possible jamming for Granite State. Rabid Raccoon for mass attack, and Rabid Raccoon is a lead jammer. Kim Possible doing battle with Death by Sugar again, and Death by Sugar now getting some help. A forearm penalty being called on her. Oh, Rabid Raccoon almost holding on the outside of turn 3. Now going to the inside of turn 4. That's a scoring pass. Rabid Raccoon with an upright skating style is extremely effective, very stable, although, of course, as soon as I say that, Fearless gets enough of her to knock her to the outfield. Rabid Raccoon now recovering, looking inside, taking a step to the out, and now getting stood up by the front. Oh, my. No whistles. That was just hard-nosed roller derby all the way around. Rabid Raccoon earned those 4 points, no doubt, and you can see it on her face, calling off that jam. Wow, that was an 8-point jam.
So the word, it's put up your toques.
Put up your toques. Oh,
Toques. It's a hat.
Oh, it's the chef's hat, right?
No, it's like the hat you wear when you go outside and it's cold out. You put on your toque.
Okay, thank you for that, Chad.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's a hat.
Okay, put up your. I always thought it was toques. I don't know.
Oh no, toque's what you do when you're. Well, never mind. Action's back on.
Thank goodness for that. It's Critical Hit and Android once again. These two have, they could sell tickets if we had Critical Hit and Android every time. Critical Hit now ducking outside, finds room. Lead jammer, Android still caught in the pack. Now popped out by Taz, Slamey, and Devil. And Granite State coming alive. They're not going to sit down and let Mass Attack control this game right now. Oh, that was work by Critical Hit on her own now. The jammer helmet cover taken off by Android. She completes the initial pass. Critical Hit getting a shirt whip and is going to call off the jam. That is an 8-point jam, I believe. Yes, it is. Granite State, a timely 8-point jam there. It's a 15-point game right now with 12:45 to go. This first, well, it's not a clock stoppage, although we have an official, a little bit of track maintenance being done right now. They're trying to do it on the fly. These Rock Coast Rollers are ambitious people, no doubt about it. Okay, Jamie Lee Hurtis and Debbie Downer are the jammers. Debbie Downer taking the outside, finds Death by Sugar now. And we have a pack slowdown in the outside straightaway. Lead jam is going to Debbie Downer. And a penalty called on Torpedo, the pivot for Mass Attack. So, lead jammer on a scoring pass, Debbie Downer. Jamie Lee Hurtis now completing the initial pass. It was not an easy go for Jamie Lee, but Debbie Downer looking behind her, calling off the jam. She passed all four Mass Attack skaters. They made her pass several of them again within that trip, and now we have an official timeout called on the track for some track maintenance. So Chad, after put up your toques, right? Put up your toques. Then the Big O, of course, taking place next weekend as well, May 3rd through 5th. May 10th through 12th, Flat Track Fever will be taking place in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, hosted by Calgary Roller Derby. And after that, there are several more of these wonderful WFTDA recognized tournaments. Paris is Burning Deuxième Edition, May 25th and 26th in Paris, France, hosted by Les Quad de Paris. And then Finvitational from Kallio Rolling Rainbow, hosted by Kallio Rolling Rainbow, will be taking place in Helsinki, Finland on May 31st through June 2nd. That same weekend, the Midwest Brouhaha will be taking place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, hosted by the Brew City Bruisers. We'll talk about the rest of the WFTDA recognized tournaments as we go along. A little bit of track maintenance, obviously an important part of the game, Chad.
Yeah, well, we got to have lines or nobody knows where to go.
Isn't that the truth?
The next Nerd Derby broadcast will be next month. We will be going to Quebec for Le Froid du Nord. I'm working on my French. I've been working on it every day on my way to work.
Good for you. You listening to
like
a podcast?
Yeah, book on tape. Tape.
Okay.
Je comprends un peu le français, pas très bien.
Très bien. I studied French very early in my life, and every once in a while I remember some of it. I can actually read it better than I can speak it, which is a kind of strange thing. But, okay, Linzania now jamming 4 Mass Attack, and Critical Hit again with the star for Granite State. Granite State kind of saying, let's send Critical Hit out there as often as possible. It's a 4-2 pack advantage for Granite State as a blocker is sent off for Mass Attack right as Torpedo comes back. So Critical Hit is through. Critical Hit is lead. Critical Hit is scoring. Critical Hit has 4. If I'm mentioning the name a lot, it's because Critical Hit is really putting them up now for Granite State. Finally through Lynn Zanya, doing a good job considering that Mass Attack only has 2 blockers on the track. Good job getting through. That was a lot of perseverance. It forced the call off. So another 8 points going up for Granite State. And at the 10-minute mark, or 10:33, we have timeout called by Mass Attack. Granite State closing the gap now, 44 for the GSRD All-Stars versus 47 for Mass Attack. We really appreciate you joining us. This is one of the first broadcasts for New England Roller Derby Report with the new camera setup, and I'm really enjoying it, Chad.
Yeah, it's a ton of work to get this stuff up there, and it's I'm looking at it and I'm critiquing the stuff, and I'm a little annoyed with it. I don't like the difference in camera quality between the very cheap Sony Handycam on the boom and the not as cheap Sony camera over in the player bench. So
okay,
I'll just have to get over that.
Yeah.
I have to get over it.
Well, we appreciate you watching along, and of course, the great thing, all of you fans, is that these games will be archived correctly.
They are archived. They are archived as well as recorded locally. So once they're no longer available on twitch.tv/Nerd Derby, we'll upload them to our YouTube channel.
Okay, well, hey, yeah. I see Sonic Doom says loving the camera angles, so you gotta appreciate that. All right, back to action now. Android jamming for Mass Attack, getting through a tripod. Wow, Android has lead jammer for Mass Attack. Whatever they discussed during that timeout was paying dividends right now. Still on the initial trip is Granite State. Now Android into the pack, face-to-face with Kama Slice. And that's going to be a 4-point scoring trip. Oh, now we have a power jam for Mass Attack. Wow. How about that? Kim Possible's going to have to sit down. Android was pounded there by Fearless. Fearless is going to be sent to the penalty box on a forearm. Android just shaking it off. 4 more for Mass Attack. Boy, talk about a well-orchestrated timeout right there for Mass Attack as they come out of that timeout. Guns a-blazing. 4 more going up now. All right, Android has 12 on the jam. Kim Possible's been released from the penalty box, but still has to complete that initial trip. Android ducking around her blockers is now going to call off the jam, and no points going up for Granite State. A 16-point jam, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the most points put up by one team in one jam so far in this game.
On the replay, we got a shot of Fierce with that big shoulder. Watch this bang.
Oh yeah, boom.
I don't know where Android thought they were going to go with that, but maybe next time it's going to be a little different line. That's my guess.
Ah, wow. Well, of course the penalty was called on Fearless. But Android just really, as I said, shook off that contact. All right, back to live action. Rabid Raccoon is jamming after being recycled and fighting a determined Granite State pack. Up at the front now, Debbie Downer is lead jammer for Granite State, and Mass Attack with blockers in the penalty box. Oh, Tasmanian Devil is saying, I put her out. She has to get in behind me, and the outside pack referee agrees. It is a cutting the track penalty going on Rabid Raccoon. Great work by Tasmanian Devil, bringing the attention of the referees, because that was a rollback. Rabid Raccoon re-entered and beyond turn 1. and Tasmanian Devil was standing back by the start line. Anyway, boy, what a game. We're just having big jams going back and forth right now. Power jam Granite State. Debbie Downer on the third scoring trip. Here comes Tasmanian Devil and company with some offense. Big hit dealt out there, but another trip to the penalty box. That was Ricky Bobby for Mass Attack with just a punishing hit, but it's going to earn her a trip. Okay, Rabid Raccoon is back out of the penalty box and finally now completes the initial trip. Wow, 25 seconds to go in the jam. Debbie Downer's going to call off the jam, and how about that? Right after Android puts up 16 points, Debbie Downer puts up 19, and we have a 63-63 tie game.
So here we are at the table. We got a shot. There's Beth operating the. There's your wave, Beth. Yeah, Lady Lana. Lady Lana's there operating. It's a small camera on top of the tripod.
Oh,
that's this camera right here.
Okay.
And that's a flexible kind of a crane.
I like the camera angles. I agree with you, Doom. Sonic Doom. Okay, back to the live action now. Critical hit with the star for Granite State. Jamie Lee Hurtis. Oh, for really Mass good. Attack.
Thank you.
Critical hit is lead, but Jamie Lee is through as well. And all of a sudden, we're seeing a lot of speed rearward. Now Mass Attack is going to set up at the back. Big hit by Fearless, taking Jamie Lee Hurtis to the rearward portion of turn 3. Critical hit, meanwhile, up at the front of the pack. This pack is really spread out. Critical hit on one foot. Spins around both jammers now with 4, and Critical Hit's going to call off the jam. Oh, my. 67-67, and this game is really showing itself. If Coastal Chaos 2019 lives up to this first period, we're going to have ourselves a barn burner here in Rockport.
Yeah, maybe we can just watch these two teams play all weekend long. I don't think the other teams would like that, though.
Well, no.
They all want their chance at it.
Exactly, and we'll talk about that more at the beginning. Well, actually, we've got an official timeout right now, so we can talk about it a little bit now. If you're just joining us again, what we've got here is two, and what I mean by what we've got here is the format for Coastal Chaos 2019 is 2 round-robin brackets of 4. Mass Attack, Granite State, Hartford area, and Fog City are in one of the brackets. Bracket 2 is Black Rose, Hellions of Troy, Halifax, and the Bay State Brawlers. All right. Android now versus Kim Possible. Android in the red for Mass Attack. Kim Possible in the black for Granite State. Kim Possible pushing the front of the pack. Just has one to beat. That is Death by Sugar. And Kim Possible is lead jammer. However, Android is through. Mass Attack's having a difficult time keeping their pack players on the track. That's one thing we have seen. Oh, Kim Possible calling off the jam, got her hips into scoring position. Very well done. Kim Possible putting up 3 under extreme pressure there. And Granite State now take the lead with 4:15 to go in this first period. So, Mass Attack's going to play Granite State, Hartford, and Fog City. All right. Black Rose Rollers are going to play Hellions of Troy, Halifax, and Bay State Brawlers, and they will all play each other in their brackets. Okay. All right, back to the live action now. Debbie Downer jamming for Granite State. Oh, lots of action up front. Debbie Downer gets lead. Tasmanian Devil is making life a little bit difficult for Rabid Raccoon, but Rabid Raccoon fights through. Initial trip completed for Mass Attack. Now Debbie Downer sees the situation, calls off the jam. 3 more go up for Granite State. All right. So, Chad, are we paying attention now? Hopefully I've described the two brackets. Each team in the bracket's going to play each other. We are awarding a champion. If somebody wins all 3 games, they will probably be the champion of the tournament.
Yeah.
If we have ties as far as like 2 teams that have a 2-1 record for the weekend, then we look at point differential, and of those teams that are 2-1, the one with the highest point differential is going to be the champion. Okay, back to the
Clear as
action.
mud.
Critical hit is lead jammer. Critical hit on a scoring trip for Granite State. Death by Sugar has to let her go. Jamie Lee Hurtis now through on the initial trip. A lot of action in the pack. A lot. Oh my, critical hit. Just upended there. I believe that was D-block with that jammer kill on critical hit. Critical hit was trying to spin and take a point and sit down and call the jam, and D-block just said, no, that's not happening. Okay, Taz Slamian Devil again, rolling back. Jamie Lee Hurtis. Critical hit now calling off the jam. Wow, a lot of action and an 8-8 result, however. Jamie Lee Hurtis doing a good job. That just goes to show you when you don't have lead, that doesn't mean that you can't score. And, I think a lot of times that's really the true test of a jammer is how they do when they don't have lead. So 7-point lead for Granite State. 1 minute, 25 seconds to go in period number 1. This could be the final jam. We've got Kim Possible jamming for Granite State. Android for Mass Attack. 3-2 in the pack, favoring Mass Attack. Oh no, a track cut penalty. Oh no, an illegal contact penalty going on Kim Possible. Kim Possible has to sit down in that penalty box. There was some confusion. Now she has sat down. It is a power jam in favor of Mass Attack, and that may be how this period ends. Android and Angio Nasty doing battle in turn 4. Android is through. 8 points so far for Mass Attack. Mass Attack retake the lead. 34 seconds on the period clock. Taz Slamian now stops Android on the inside and stops her to the outside as well. Taz Slamian Devil just playing one skater defense against Android right now and winning the battle. Period clock's down to 15. Oh no, sent back is Kim Possible. So this will certainly end, well, it won't certainly end the period yet because there's still 2 seconds on the clock. Now the period clock gets to 0. Android is in the driver's seat. Android will call the jam. Android with 4 more. A 12-point jam to end period number 1. My goodness. 87-82. Mass Attack is on top. Folks, don't go too far. 15 minutes from now, we're going to see the second period of this one, and it's been a thrilling game so far, Chad.
Yeah, we do have an official review that was called at the very end, so...
Okay, called by Granite State.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not just using it as a timeout because, the time
this is good,
expired.
though, because if the alt ref comes over to talk to you, you're going to get to try out this new mic mute button that we installed for the announcers.
Okay, well that's perfect.
All
yeah,
right, I can't wait. This is good, a good test.
New England Roller Derby Report is just continually upping its game, and we're happy to bring you this action. Boy, what a first period. We got Killbot in Deutschland saying PMA, PMA, PMA. I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm happy that you're watching and hope you're enjoying. Okay, so does everybody understand? I guess that's what we should talk about right now, the format, because this is the only game that we're going to have tonight.
Yeah, one game tonight.
Yeah, just one game tonight. We're going to have many games tomorrow, 5 tournament games and 1 junior exposition game that should be entertaining as well. But the way it's going to shape up is we have, again, two groups in bracket number one: Mass Attack, Granite State, Hartford area, and Fog City. They will all skate against each other. And Black Rose, the Hellions of Troy, Halifax, and the Bay State Brawlers will also all skate against each other. Okay, Chad, I'm going to find out what the official review was about.
Okay. Here we have the mute button being used right now. This is amazing. So Gretchen is actually talking to the alt ref right now. Finger holding down mute button. So you can't even. El Bobo, thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. El Bobo, learned how to use Twitch Prime. It's not too bad. If you have Amazon Prime and you want to support the stream, what you can do is you go to Amazon, search for Twitch, and you'll probably see how to connect it, and it supports us and it doesn't cost you a dime. Gretchen, what did we learn?
Well, Granite State is a good try, at least at the end of the period. They were asking for the penalty to be removed from their jammer. I believe that was impossible at the end of the period. The official after review, the call stands. So she will. I believe she will still have a couple of seconds on that penalty to serve when we get underway again.
Okay.
All right, that's it. A 5-point game after 30 minutes of really thrilling, hard-hitting roller derby.
This is a wonderful way to start out the tournament this weekend. Super excited for both teams.
It really is. We'll have a little more about the tournament format and what games you can look forward to tomorrow. I'm Gretchen Little here with Chad Newt from New England Roller Derby Report, and we're awfully glad that you're tuned in. Come back in 13 minutes and change for the exciting conclusion of this one.
And there'll be no audio during halftime because I actually just realized I forgot to plug in the cable to loop back music into the stream. So, whoopsie daisy, sorry about that. All right, we're basically back. 2.5 minutes. So, yeah, internet access is going to be pretty terrible this weekend. Unfortunately. Oh, you know what I was going to work on? I was going to work on music. I just don't remember how to do that. I'm back. I actually already went back, Rich, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I wanted to just go. I was so eager to put 2 headphones on again. There we are.
All right, we're back here at Coastal Chaos 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament brought to you by the Rock Coast Rollers of Rockport, Maine, and New England Roller Derby Report. We're happy to be here. Hope you had a chance to, take care of some necessaries or fix yourself a snack or a beverage or whatever. Great first period. You could do a lot of analysis. I think the most telling factor for Mass Attack was that when they had 3 or 4 of their blockers on the track, they were very effective. Their biggest challenge going into period number 2 is going to be keeping 3 or 4 blockers on the track because Granite State has been doing a solid job of taking advantage of short packs. And I don't have the penalty information in front of me right now, but I have a feeling that Mass Attack has had has had more penalties for sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's the first game of a tournament, and of course, a lot of bugs going to be worked out all the way around. But again, it's a WFTDA recognized tournament. You're watching Coastal Chaos 2019. We're having a blast up here in Rockport. Game 2 tomorrow at 9 a.m. is going to be Hartford Area Roller Derby, and they're going to take on Fog City from New Brunswick, from St. John, New Brunswick, the Fog City Sirens. All right, here we go. We're back, or Shipyard Sirens, excuse me. We're back to live action, and Android picking up where she left off in the first period for Mass Attack is lead jammer, and now Kim Possible released from the penalty box. And she's working the back line right now. Death by Sugar holding down the inside, and taking care of the outside is Pixie Sticks. Now Pixie Sticks picks up Kim Possible in the middle of turn 3. Android is working on a scoring pass and getting the business from Granite State. The no pack whistle went up and they could not engage, so 4 go up for Mass Attack. They extend the lead. Android looking for more as Kim Possible has gotten through now. Android will call off the jam, so Mass Attack starting period number 2 as they would wish, putting up 4 points. 91-82 on the scoreboard right now. And an official timeout is being called. I believe it has. There may be a stick in the scoreboard computer right now, as the jam timer and our scorekeepers are having a conference over by the scorers table. That gives us time to talk about some of these other great WFTDA recognized tournaments that are scheduled for 2019. We've already been up to the Midwest Brouhaha. In June, the weekend of June 7th through 9th, Besterns in Denver, Colorado, hosted by Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. And a fun tournament that I actually announced at their inaugural year, Ooftapalooza in Mid-State, Wisconsin, Wausau, Wisconsin, hosted by the Mid-State Sisters of Skate. That's a fun one. It actually takes place on a fairgrounds, so a lot of people can camp there. It makes for a good time. All right, here we go. Critical hit with the star. She's the big jammer for, I should say, the premier jammer for Granite State. But through first and lead is number 588, Rabid Raccoon for Mass Attack. Critical hit makes it through, chasing down Rabid Raccoon, forcing the call off, and that will be a scoreless jam. Okay, the scoreboard has been rectified. I thought that Mass Attack put up 8 points in that last jam, and those additional points were in fact put up, so it's 95-82 in favor of Mass Attack. Debbie Downer with the star for Granite State. Jamie Lee Hurtis, number 88 for Mass Attack. 1 blocker in the penalty box for Mass Attack, but working over Debbie Downer with the rollback was Ricky Bobby for Mass Attack. Neither jammer able to pierce through right now, and as I say that, Jamie Lee Hurtis applies the speed, gets through, and is lead. Debbie Downer almost through, but Torpedo got just enough of her that one of her skates went onto the infield. So back to action, back to the drawing board for Debbie Downer. We have a star pass now to Taz Slamey and Devil. That's his first star pass of the game. And so we have a jammer now for Granite State, but Jamie Lee Hurtis she caught it. She saw what was going on, called off the jam just as Taslamian Devil was getting into scoring position. So I believe one additional point going up for Mass Attack. Mass Attack now with 99 and Granite State with 82. That's kind of been the flex of the game so far, is that Mass Attack will take a lead and then Granite State will come fighting back. Now Android wriggling through on the inside straightaway. A taking lead jammer. Pixie Sticks just going line to line against Kim Possible. And then Amanda Conda finishes off the block. Kim Possible is just getting really handled by this Mass Attack pack right now. Now she's going to have to roll back to the pivot line. Meanwhile, Android is skating free and clear, putting up another scoring trip. Well, I give Kim Possible all the credit in the world to get back up and fight through that pack after the beating she took from Mass Attack. Now a skating out of bounds penalty is going on Android. She was heading to the infield as she was calling off the jam. The jam was called. Points going up for Mass Attack, but critical hit will be the lone jammer for Granite State, who also enjoy a 4-3 pack advantage. So, wow, interesting development here. Now we have I believe, an official timeout on the track as we're getting a little clarification maybe. This is, if you're a Granite State fan, this is what you want to see. Again, that has been the feel of the game, is that Mass Attack will get a lead and then Granite State comes roaring back. Right now it's a 26-point lead, but critical hit could make up a lot of that in one jam. She quickly establishes lead, and now Granite State is trying to box up one of the Mass Attack blockers at the back. Not a bad little strategy as critical hit. Oh, beautiful work. Staying in bounds, No! She cut the track, and a very authoritative penalty being called by Judge Double Wapner on the outside pack. He had the best angle on seeing critical hits skates, so we have a change of epic proportions. Critical hit in the penalty box. Android released, and Android completes the initial pass. It's a 2-minute jam, 1 minute on the track. First scoring trip now for Android. Now the tables are turned. It's 4-2 pack advantage in favor of Mass Attack. Kama Slice is trying to dig in and separate the defenders. Critical hit is out of the penalty box, and this will be a scoring trip for her. Both jammers putting up 4. 33 seconds left, now 30 on the jam clock. Neither jammer can stop the action. Critical hit. I bet towards the end of the weekend she'll be able to nail that move, but maybe just not quite as familiar with the track in the early going. Android with 12 now, run out by Taz Slamian Devil, and Taz takes down Android. Boy, I tell you what, these players are really, the one-on-one defense and offense is really exciting here. There's there's great team play too, but some really interesting individual matchups that we've seen. So, Mass Attack is in a comfortable lead. If we're going by the pattern of the first period, 31, is maybe just about the time that Granite State comes roaring back, we'll see. Right now, we've got Rabid Raccoon in lead jam position for Mass Attack, and taking a little bit of time getting through the pack for Granite State is Debbie Downer. Rabid Raccoon now through the pack for 4. Meanwhile, Debbie Downer is just now making it through the pack. Okay, so about half a track of time for Rabid Raccoon, and it won't take her that long. She's going to call off the jam, a tidy 20, I believe an 8-0 jam for Mass Attack, as the venue scoreboard seems to be a little confused. Let's put it that way. In any event, we have a timeout now being called by Granite State. Maybe they will get the mojo off the timeout that the Mass Attack team did after they called that timeout, earlier in the game. Yeah, Gilly 1118 says, OMG, we missed some serious derby. It's been working pretty. These teams they know each other. They played a year ago. Okay, on April 28th of last year, Mass Attack was bested by Granite State by a score of 319 to 254. Now, I can guarantee you, Mass Attack, may win this game, but it's not going to be any 319 points with 21 minutes and 33 seconds to go. 129 is a nice score for Mass Attack. Granite State still not over 100, but boy, that game last year was just a free-for-all scoring-wise. Okay, we're back to the live action. We've got Jamie Lee Hurtis jamming for Mass Attack, and it is Kim Possible with the star for Granite State. And Taz Slamian Devil trying to roll back, and she pulls the cut again on Jamie Lee Hurtis. So it's a power jam and lead jam going to Granite State. Kim Possible in control. Let's see, it's 4-3 in the pack in favor of Mass Attack. But Taz Slamian Devil trying to knock off one blocker at a time. Death by Sugar putting an end to that. Oh dear, now Kim Possible being called for a penalty. So, the power jam giveth and the power jam taketh away. This will be another 2-minute jam, of which, I really can't tell because now the scoreboard on the venue has gotten very fast, let's just say. Okay, so Jamie Lee Hurtis on the track in the power jam for Mass Attack. Kim Possible is ready to go and has been released from the penalty box. Okay, wow, it took all of that time for Jamie Lee Hurtis to complete the initial trip. So now in scoring position and knocked out by Angie O'Nasty. Meanwhile, nice cut work there at the outside of turn 2 for Kim Possible. Okay, Kim Possible has 8. 4 now going up for Jamie Lee Hurtis. And you got to say, Granite State did a great job of killing that power jam. Really just now letting Jamie Lee Hurtis through on the initial trip. Couple more points going up for Granite State. 10-4. The international radio symbol for OK. That's the jam. Granite State now at 100. Mass Attack with 133. All right, we've got excitement coming up next, no doubt, as Critical Hit will take on the jam line versus Linzania for Mass Attack. And Linzania finds a seam on the inside, gets through. Meanwhile, Critical Hit is being held off by a determined Mass Attack pack. Up at the front, that's Bloodbath Betty holding on along with Pixie Sticks. Now through for the initial trip is Critical Hit. Linzania already has 4, and Linzania looks over at the bench. They say call it off. I think that's probably a wise choice, a 4-0 jam in favor of Mass Attack. All right, Debbie Downer with the star for Granite State. Android for Mass Attack. The penalty box is empty right now, so 4-on-4 in the pack. These situations have normally favored Mass Attack. Granite State has really gone to town when Mass Attack has had penalty trouble in the pack. So we'll see how this goes right now. Debbie Downer is taking the inside line at first, and Death by Sugar along with Torpedo are holding that off. Now Android dodges out front. The Android is lead jammer. Death by Sugar 1-on-1 versus Debbie Downer at the front of the pack. Debbie gets through. Now Android shouldering in, putting up 4, and she will call off the jam. So Mass Attack now, they had that was-it comfortable 30-point lead a couple of minutes ago. They've pushed it out a little bit now and have a 41-point lead. Granite State, if our last period was any indication, though, is not ready to give up this contest as of yet. And they're sending Taz Slamian Devil to the jam line. Taz had only jammed on a Star Pass before, so this is Rabid Raccoon jamming for Mass Attack. And Taz Slamian Devil does get lead for Granite State. Rabid Raccoon is through, however, so now a swarming offensive play going on for Granite State, and a well-executed scoring trip for Taz Slamian Devil. She got all 4 and called off the jam, so Granite State definitely showing signs of life after that one. Now Critical Hit stepping to the line for Granite State. It will be Jamie Lee Hurtis jamming for Mass Attack. And Mass Attack with 1 blocker in the box. 4-3 pack advantage for Granite State. That's Amanda Conda, who's now released from the penalty box. And we have a lead jammer. It is Jamie Lee Hurtis. She skates for Mass Attack. The Critical Hit is through as well. Critical Hit pushing the action, and now a call-off by Jamie Lee Hurtis results in 2 points for Mass Attack. 0. Oh, no, 2 for both teams with 2 points. Looking there. Okay, Critical Hit was able to get a couple of hustle points at the end. So, well, we're having some complications with the venue scoreboard. So I won't look at that. I'm just going to call the action, folks. How's that? Debbie Downer jamming for Granite State. Android for Mass Attack. And boy, Android just has a complete game. As a jammer, she's got the speed, she's got the maneuverability, and she's got the, let's face it, the nerve. You get these hits like she just received, and you've got to have a special kind of disposition to be able to take that kind of contact and abuse and keep on pushing forward, and that she does. She has just completed the first 4-point pass of this jam. Debbie Downer still being thwarted by the Mass Attack pack. Here comes Android now, and boy, she sent to her knees. I believe that was actually Debbie Downer who was playing a little defense right there. Oh, and now a back block is being called on Android just as we were erecting a statue in her honor here at Midcoast Recreation Center. It is a power jam now in favor of Granite State. Debbie Downer is taken outside by Winsley Adams. And Winslay's called for an out-of-play illegal contact there on that one. Oh, my. I guess Winsley Adams just couldn't resist that one because Debbie Downer had such a difficult time completing that initial trip that okay, back to the action now. 4 going up for Debbie Downer. Android is out of the penalty box, and she immediately runs into Meals on Wheels for Granite State. So, let's see. 4 more, though, going up for Android. And, okay, all right, 151 to 108 after this jam. We got 12 minutes, 40 seconds to go. A depleted Mass Attack pack right now, though. 3 in the penalty box, 2 sitting, 1 standing. That's Ricky Bobby standing and immediately released. Taslamian Devil now jamming for Granite State, trying to take advantage of this short pack. Lynn's Anya with the star for Mass Attack, and she is taken very forcefully to the infield by Fearless. Meanwhile, here comes Taslamian Devil. That's a 4-point trip. Lynn's Anya completes the initial pass. Now Taslamian Devil held up by Mass Attack, and Lynn's Anya staying in bounds. You know, they say block to the lines, and that was a situation where Granite State was just not able to do it. And the jam is called. Taslamian Devil was in the infield trying to call the jam, and meanwhile, 2 more points were scored by Lynn's Anya. Lynn's Anya was playing very smart there. Now we have a timeout being called by Mass Attack. I don't know whether those additional 2 points are going to be awarded or not. There was a conversation between Taz and the jam ref there, and the 2 additional points have not been awarded as of yet. But as it stands, they are now. 157 for Mass Attack, 114 for Granite State. So, with 11 minutes and 15 seconds to go, Chad, you got to say, Mass Attack really came out in this second period, and they've done what they had to do.
Yeah, we were pretty close first half. Both teams, trading points back and forth. And this has been all Mass Attack this half, for sure.
It really has been, and it's been, it's not like a tale of 2 halves, really, even because Granite State has been fighting them every step of the way, but I think really the biggest difference is, with the exception of like that last jam at the beginning, Mass Attack's been able to keep the majority of their blockers on the track, and when they're able to do that, it's really paid off for them. But all that being said, it's still a 43-point lead. So don't count Granite State out just yet. They're going to send Critical Hit to the start line against Rabid Raccoon for Mass Attack. And this is a 4-3 pack advantage for Granite State. Yeah, that's a really well-oiled tripod there for Mass Attack. Up at the front now. Critical Hit is able to dodge Death by Sugar did a really nice job of, she didn't give up on the defensive formation until the very end, but then once she did, she rocketed to the front of the line to try to get one more hit on Critical Hit. All right, a 4-0 jam so far, and more to the point, Rabid Raccoon still not out on the initial pass. Rabid Raccoon taken inside by Fearless. So, Critical Hit now, up until very recently, Critical Hit was having to do it on her own. She finally does get through. All 4 Mass Attack blockers were trying to stop the Granite State Jammer Critical Hit. Critical Hit is going to quit. She's going to call off the jam, and it is an 8-0 jam. Okay, so 122 Granite State, 157 for Mass Attack. We're just under 10 minutes to go. Can Granite State pull the comeback again? It's certainly possible. They're going to send Kim Possible to the line. And Jamie Lee Hurtis will be jamming for Mass Attack. It's kind of a 3-and-1 formation for Mass Attack. Oh, and Mass Attack Troubles Braids is going to have to go on a direction. And again, once the pack advantage goes in the favor of Granite State, good things happen. Right now, Kim Possible is on a scoring trip, and Jamie Lee Hurtis still not through. Kim Possible calling off the jam. 1 point. Well, Kim Possible probably could have played that a little longer, but maybe, maybe just realized that she was not in a position to continue on that jam. So, boy, we've got a jammer's delight right now, a 2-on-2 pack. Debbie Downer will be wearing the star for Granite State, and Android for Mass Attack. Oh, and Fearless thought she had enough of Android, and I think she almost levitated Android for a brief second, but Android just kept the forward momentum and got lead for Mass Attack. Oh, Kim Possible's been called for cutting the track, so it's a power jam now for Mass Attack and Android. And boy, again, I don't want to made the joke about erecting a statue in Android's honor here at the Midcoast Recreation Center, but she really is a special jammer, as you see right there. And, Granite State, you can't afford to give her 2 power jams so close when you've got a game that's this tight. So, all right, Android on another scoring pass. 4 more going up. Yep, Debbie Downer has been released from the penalty box, but meanwhile, 8 on the board for Android in this jam. Tasmanian Devil takes Android to the outside. And, another penalty on Debbie Downer, this time a forearm. And if you're a Mass Attack fan, you got to be happy with this. Android with 12 already, still 40 seconds to go in this jam. And Debbie Downer has not completed an initial trip. She's not going to be able to do that from the penalty box. All right, Android now just working on her own right now. Tasmanian Devil takes her to the outside. There is the end of the jam, and 4 more go up, so it's a 16-point jam for Android. Granite State now 123. 169 on the board for Mass Attacks. 173 now. Yeah, I've got to look at our scoreboard and not the venue scoreboard. Okay, Linzania starts in a power jam start for Mass Attack. Gets lead. Debbie Downer is released from the penalty box, but right now Debbie Downer's got to be thinking, boy, can't somebody else take the star? Looking at the Granite State side, they have number 7, Slice, with the pivot stripe on right now, but Debbie Downer does get through and now is speeding up. And, Linzania immediately calls the jam once Debbie Downer gets through. So, another 4 points going up. Mass Attack 181 and 123 for Granite State. Okay, we've got 4 minutes and 34 seconds left on the period clock. Critical hit now, jamming against Rabid Raccoon. Critical hit has been a standout jammer for Granite State. And it is a power jam as Rabid Raccoon is sent to the penalty box. Oh, and a block, an illegal contact going against Death by Sugar. So just when you thought that Granite State was taken down, I don't know. Critical hit. It's there's a lot of ground to make up, but right now is a pretty good opportunity. Critical hit will have to recycle. Smart decision there. Mass Attack doing a good job of trying to hold off critical hit. Okay. Rabid Raccoon, smart play there. Coming out of the penalty box, removing the helmet cover, and I think it really did buy her a couple of seconds of attack on Granite State. Okay, it's an 8-0 jam in favor of Granite State now with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go. Kim Possible will take the hopes of Granite State onto her capable helmet in the form of the star, whereas for Mass Attack, Jamie Lee Hurtis will be wearing that same star, just different colors. Back to the action, and the one thing that I see Mass Attack doing so well is when one blocker lets a jammer go, there's another one there who senses it and gets in position to stop them. Okay, Jamie Lee Hurtis is through. Jamie Lee Hurtis is lead. Pushing the front. Oh, the star fell off of Kim Possible's helmet. And the entire time, Pixie Sticks has just been riding her in the defensive position for Mass Attack. Oh my, Pixie Sticks set that one up. And then number 28, Ricky Bobby, finished her off. Kim Possible still hasn't finished an initial trip, and Jamie Lee Hurtis has 8 on the board for Mass Attack. So with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go, Mass Attack looking very strong right now on 12-0 jam. Kim Possible has has completed the initial trip, and Jamie Lee Hurtis will call the jam and called it just in time. One more point, a 13-point jam for Mass Attack. So, Mass Attack able to pull away in this second period. There's a little dance party between Debbie Downer and Android. Android, though, all business, kind of shakes off the dance party, says, no, I want to score some more points before this thing is over with. Here we go. Android held off by Fearless on the inside, on the outside, tries the inside. Meals on Wheels is there for Granite State. Now she gets through on the outside of turn 2, but Taz Slamian Devil is there. Debbie Downer at the front of the pack, but Android, just when you think that she has been contained, finds a way. She is lead jammer now for Mass Attack, and I don't make the decisions as far as most valuable blockers and jammers, but if I were to do so, I would have to say Android might get my vote for most valuable jammer for Mass Attack in this game. Debbie Downer is through on the initial pass. The period clock is at 0, so Android will call the action, and that will mean that Mass Attack gets the first victory of the weekend. A hard-fought game currently on the board as 198 to 132. I think 4 more might go up, however, for Mass Attack. No, that's going up as the unofficial score. So Granite State held Mass Attack to under 200 points. That's the good news. The bad news is Mass Attack, if you're a Granite State fan, the bad news is that Mass Attack held Granite State to under 135, 132 in particular. So we now have a final 198 to 132 for Mass Attack. Okay, so Game 1 of Coastal Chaos 2019 is in the books.
Do you feel like you get your pipes warmed up?
I do. I do. A lot of action there. And, we got a few more announcers coming tomorrow, which is certainly a good thing because, calling a broadcast game, I always have a good time with you, Chad, but, you're busy with the production.
I got all the production over here.
That's
I do want to give a shout out to our production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order legwear for teams and individuals, size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details. Use coupon code NERD to get free shipping until May 3rd on orders over $45 Canadian. U.S. shoppers.
There you go.
The U.S. dollar goes a little further in Canada. This might be a good weekend for you to do some shopping.
Yeah, just put that bug in your ear. I'm sure we'll have a couple more opportunities to remind people of that. Yeah, we will be having Most Valuable Blocker and Most Valuable Jammer awarded. I don't know if we can stay on for long enough
we can
for
stay
that.
On for that.
Okay.
Sure. If we're going to do it right now, let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
So we will get I'll get a bracket made up tomorrow morning so we can take a look at the bracket.
Very good.
Those kinds of things. I will look for anybody else in the facility who is using an internet-capable device, and I will knock it out of their hands.
Were we having some interference?
It's just you just never know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a lot of upload from. I've seen it in the past. Photographers uploading their photos already, and that'll slow things down a little bit. So who knows? It could be anything. This is, we look at this and we say, okay, it's awesome. It's Derby, and this was a Derby weekend. Well, this is also a pretty big facility with a lot of stuff going on, and the Midcoast Recreation Center is conducting business, and they're doing their thing. So they were gracious enough to let me run cable through the snack shack over there.
Okay,
I've taped cable down through the floor, underneath the stove, underneath the fridge, around the corner. They were very, very nice to me to let me do that. So
well, and these will be archived also. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. They are recording I might have missed a little bit of one at the beginning of this one accidentally, but
Okay.
c'est la vie.
Hey, there you go. First game in the books tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Again, Fog City from St. John, New Brunswick will be taking on Hard. When I see Hard, I think of my home league, Harrisburg Area Roller Derby in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Shout out to y'all if any of y'all are watching. But Hartford Area Roller Derby from Connecticut will be, so Fog City and Hartford will be taking the track tomorrow. Now, they actually played in April of this year.
I have been waiting to see the Hartford Whalers play Derby. I've missed a couple of opportunities to see them play. I was a huge fan of the Hartford Whalers hockey team growing up.
I remember
and
that.
I instantly fell in love with the Whalers hockey team. This will be the first time I get to see them play.
Very cool.
Hopefully they brought their merch because I've worn out my old Whalers t-shirt.
I think all the teams were encouraged to bring their merch, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, and actually one of the captains for Hartford, Liberty Violence, is a former Pennsylvania Derby skater. She used to play for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Roller Radicals. All right, here we go. Here is an MVP going to number 40 for Granite State. That's penalty backs. And most valuable jammer for Granite State is Kim Possible. Two well-deserved awards, no doubt. Now we're going to have the awards given to Mass Attack. And waiting for the this is a nice part of the Coastal Chaos experiences. All the teams are asked to bring most valuable blocker and jammer awards, and there you see right now for the Granite State. Those, of course, were made by Mass Attack. Okay, well, Amanda Conda, I tell you, it was very difficult to pick a most valuable blocker for Mass Attack, and no surprise, Android getting the MVJ in this first game for Mass Attack. Not that Jamie Lee Hurtis or Linzania or Rabid Raccoon didn't do well. They did. But Android just, took it on her shoulders and, really went the extra mile on the track and put up the points. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, we're done. We're out of here.
Hey, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow morning. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If I can fix any internets or get a new freshly squeezed internet for first thing in the morning, I will make sure we do that. We'll see what happens. Until tomorrow morning at what time? Gretchen, when are we coming back here tomorrow?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Oh, for Pete's sake, 9 a.m.
EDT, right? Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. We will be here, and you can watch this the rest of this tournament this weekend here on twitch.tv/Nerd Derby. For Gretchen, I'm Chad. Let's sign off. We'll see you in the morning.